So this laptop, this is the IP address 192.168.100. Then 192.168.0.1 is the gateway, is the IP address of this router. The same thing goes here. My laptop is connected to a hotspot, to a wireless network here. And if I check my IP address here now, you see this is my IP address, the IP address of my laptop. Then this is the gateway, the device that is issuing IP address to my laptop. So if I want to access the device, if I want to access the device that's issuing IP address to my laptop, I will type this on my web browser. So it's the same thing I want to do here. So I'll close this, then come to web browser, then I'll type 192.168, close. 168.0.1. So it's requesting for the password. So this is how I got in. So after I was saying something, when I checked the person's IP address, so I manually configured IP address on my laptop. You know what I did? I configured IP address manually. I gave my laptop IP address, so the subnet mask. So then I entered the gateway, because without the gateway, there's no way that computer or that laptop will be able to go outside to the public network. So what I did, a gateway is an entry or exit interface that takes us to another network. So, and there's a device that this device is 192.168.100. No, 0.1. So immediately I did that, I went to my web browser and I typed the gateway on my web browser. And I saw their wireless router. They didn't even change the name they didn't even change the password. They left it on default, the admin. So it's always proper. It's when you are monitoring or managing the network, always change the default password. If people like me comes to your network, if I want to explore, I'll start from that aspect. So just take note of that. So IP address with a network is not complete without an IP address. So there must be IP address for these devices, yes, these devices to communicate. Yesterday we manually configured IP addresses. But with this router, IP address can be issued automatically to all of these computers. But we can use any of these computers here. Provided it's connected, we can use any of these computers to configure the IP address, change passwords. We can change passwords. This is the name. So you can give it cyber as SSID. Continue. Then change the password. We can change the password to cyber 54321. Then save. So any device that we bring in here now that wants to connect to this network, any wireless enabled device that will call up, that wants to connect, so this computer must scan. EC wireless, so it will scanning the network for that SSID I just configured. This is cyber. The same thing that happened in real life environment. So connect. So I'll enter the password that I just configured, cyber 54321. So we should know how a network works. At least do the forces connected now. The first layer of security has to be set up on this network. All right. So yesterday, when I also made mention of 3 different components: the network medium, the network resources, and the network protocols. So I've talked about the network protocols, which is the IP addresses, and the SMTP. If I'm downloading any file, if I want to send a mail to this from this laptop 0, I want to send a mail to this other laptop here. I would use the port number as 25. So that's what is happening behind the scene. So if I now want to download a file, just like we are downloading from the Telegram platform. So those are resources. Those files are resources. So 3 components that makes a complete network. Network medium, which is devices. Your phone is the network medium. The resource, the Facebook page you are seeing on your phone is the resources. Then the port number, HTTPS or HTTP, those are protocols that provide the interface, the connectivity that brings that resources to you. So those are the 3. Just when you understand this, you would know how a network works. So then lastly on this note, routers, if you want to expand this network, if you want to extend this network, then definitely we'll be needing another router to connect 2 networks together. We don't need a switch. A switch cannot connect 2 networks together. It's only a router that can do that. So I will explain this. So this is network 1, maybe in Lagos, another network maybe in Port Harcourt or anywhere. So this is a router. Router is for internet network, used to connect 2 networks. So that's why when you see ISPs, whenever they install antennas or a radio on the mast, when the cable comes down from the mast, it goes to a router first before getting to the switch, because the router is what does the interconnection, the interconnectivity. So if the router, okay, Mr. Jali is coming in. So let's take this router out from here. We cannot connect. Let me delete this. Let me take off this wireless router. Let me just use only the Cisco router. So this is a switch. It is not even proper. I can't connect this. Not like you cannot connect a switch to a router, but if the 2 networks are not in the same environment, so you have to set up another router in the other organization or company. Then either they go through the antenna or radio frequency to connect the 2 networks. So that's another point here. And then we were able to test the connectivity of devices in the network yesterday. So this one, let's quickly get an IP address. Yeah, requesting for, okay, our router that issues IP address is not there. So assuming it's there, it will automatically receive an IP address. So this is a redundant IP address. So let's just give it 192.168.10.2. Then the subnet mask. Then another thing you take note of is IP addresses which is not complete without a subnet mask. So I can't do this and say I'm closing it. It's not complete. So, but if I do this, then I must configure a subnet mask for it to stay. If not, there's no IP address. So it's the same thing we saw here. Same thing we saw here. On my own wireless, you can see the subnet mask. I don't think if there is anyone here that's seen IP address and there's no subnet mask. So this is subnet mask. So we'll be talking about IP address on Saturday. All right, so this 10.2. So I'll be rounding up this basic computer networks soon. Then I will give room for questions so that we can move on to what we have for today. So 192.168. Okay, I'm with you, sir.
I just wanted to chip in for this thing. Can you please, you were talking about two different networks. Can you just run a sample of how the two different routers can communicate, just as you are demonstrating now, you understand, so that we can just see in case we come across.
All right, so this is a network. I've brought out another router here, and let me do a proper connection. So the switch, fast Ethernet port of the switch of the computer to port 1 of the switch, then another one like that, port 2, port 3. So we've used port 1 to port 3. Now we need to connect this switch, port 4, to fast Ethernet port of the router. In real life scenario, right? If let's take for example, this is GTBank here. Because I've the opportunity to manage Fidelity Bank. I've worked Fidelity Bank, yeah. I worked in the IT environment for like 2 years, about 2 years. So how we run the network interconnection is this. We all know in all banks, I don't think there's a bank that you will go to that you will not see a radio or an antenna, or they don't have a mast. So the essence of those radios, they use them to connect to maybe their branch, their other branches, or they are getting resources, or they are providing the connection. So once that connection is established, the cable comes down. The mast, I cannot simulate the mast here. If the mast, okay, I can bring in an internet. I can bring in internet here, which we can serve as the connection. This is it here, DSL, and this is it. So we have it here already. But I will not. This is the cloud. Let's say this is the cloud. So if it connects to the cloud, so take off your video, please. So the port is not here. I have to bring the ports. All right. So let me just continue the GTBank demonstration or Fidelity Bank. So once the cable comes from the mast, it connects to the router. This is the router. First, what this router does, it breaks the broadcast domain. It does the interconnection. All the configurations will be done, major configurations will be done on the router. And remember, I said IP address must be configured on this router. If there's no IP address configured, you see the router is down. If you look at the switches, you see that they are all showing green because switch works by default. You don't need to configure IP addresses for it to start working. But for the case of a router, you must configure IP addresses. So now it is still down because we've not done any configuration here. So it doesn't know where to connect to, where to send packets. So even though this router is down, it doesn't mean that these computers cannot communicate to each other. They can still communicate. But if you want to now go out, this is the entry gateway. Please take note of this gateway, because if you are hunting, if you are doing threat hunting, you are trying to look for loopholes, or when we go in depth into the course, we'll be seeing different IP addresses, and we'll be seeing, we should just get familiar to gateways. Whenever we see gateway, with the word gateway. So this is our exit gateway that takes us out of our network. This is our entry gateway. If I'm in this LAN, so anybody from this LAN, this is his own entry gateway. This is his own exit gateway. You understand? So now I need to connect this to, I want to establish this network. So remember I said either we use radio frequency or we'll go through, we can go to MTN. MTN can do can establish the network for us. Maybe we'll just buy a public IP address. It will be configured on this router, and GTBank from this location, maybe in Port Harcourt, or okay, let's be specific. This is Lagos, GTBank in Lagos here. The IT person here will configure the IP address that has been allocated by the by MTN. Then another person again, the IT or the network administrator, will configure another IP address, public IP address, please. take note of this public IP address. So we get to understand what public IP address is. So the public IP address will be configured on this port here, on this port, not here. Here we configure only private IP addresses because we're establishing a public network. So we need to we are buying public IP addresses from MTN, and MTN must have done the routing from their own because they have the platform. They are large. So we are just company, and that's not our job. What we need to do is connect what we want them to do, connect our branches and give us the block of IP addresses that we need. We'll know the IP address. So once we've gotten the IP address, we configure it. So now let me do the connection. This is not what I'm supposed to be doing here now, but I'll quickly do it because of the question that was asked. Right? So this router is on. You can see here it is on. It is on, telling me that it is on. If I try to bring any ports, because I want to connect, by default, the router doesn't have the wide area ports. It's just the Ethernet ports. But because we are simulating it, we are trying to establish a wide area network on this packet tracer. So we have to get the ports. It's a modular router. So now let's try to bring it without turning off the router. So it's telling you that you cannot add a module when the power is on. It's just like in a real life scenario. Your desktop computer is on. You are trying to install a memory RAM. It might install, but it is dangerous. So either you damage the board, or at times you might get shocked, depending on the components you are trying to install. You might get shocked, or worst case is you damage the board, or you are removing a RAM from the computer, or installing the RAM or any component of that desktop computer without shutting down. It's dangerous, except you know what you are doing. Understand? So if for the case of RAM, it is dangerous, but for hard drive, it can work. It depends on what's going on at that moment. If you take off hard drive when the computer is on, it can still function, can still be working. But memory, either it damages the board or something else happens. So it is this router is on. So we have to shut it down first. So look at this port, weak IT or weak 1T. So just drag it. Let me drag this here so you see it. So we are adding it to this port. So this is the port. So I can now put it on. And you can see it has Ethernet port, console port, and auxiliary port. So the same thing goes there. We'll do the same thing here. We'll shut down this router. Weak 1C, then just drag and then put it here. Then turn it on, and that's all. So now, if I want to connect, you see, when I was doing it, when I tried connecting this from here to here, we were seeing just auxiliary and console, but now we have additional ports. That serial means wide area. We can connect to another network. That's a serial connection. Same thing goes with this. So we now have a serial port. So, but the right cable to use is this. This cable called serial DTE. Either we use this or this. So connect to the serial ports to the serial ports. You can see they are connected, but they are still down because by default, router doesn't work on its own. I mean, Cisco routers doesn't work on its own, especially when you just bought them. You have to configure, you have to set it up to suit your network. So if MTN, we call MTN that we have two networks, we want to connect the two networks together. It's either we set up, install an antenna on our mast from GT Bank in Lagos and then GT Bank in Port Harcourt, install an antenna on their own mast and establish the connection. Then we'll now configure IP address here on these ports. So, but there's no antenna here. So we have to configure IP addresses on these ports here by ourselves. So is it Mr. Adishola that asked the question? So I will deviate from here because if I start configuring, we might not live here. So let's continue with this. So this will be a task. So I want everyone to quickly do this. In fact, just quickly do this and leave it there. Just 2 minutes, or I don't think it take more than 5 minutes. Just quickly set this up. And Mr. Adishola, are you with us? Can you share your screen? Mr. Newton.
I'm sorry, I cannot do anything now. I'm still on the road anyway.
Okay.
I'm driving, but I'm following the class anyway.
All right.
So the moment I get home, I'll put on my system.
All right. So someone should let's just quickly do this. Then I just want to just set this up and save it. Save it. We'll still fall back. So let's say 10 minutes, we're able to set this up. So no need configuring. Okay, you can configure IP addresses. So whose screen are we seeing? Whose person's screen are we seeing?
Maybe I'll share my screen then.
Mr. Newton?
Yes.
I thought you said you're on the road.
I'm not the one on the road.
Okay.
Additional.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Newton, just share your screen. Okay, Kay, do you want to share your screen? Kay, do you want to share your screen?
I would have loved to, but I am also driving.
All right. So share your screen.
I should be also.
All right, share your screen, please, Mr. Newton. Let's see. So as he's working, please, everyone, just quickly set this up. Let's move on. So the other 10-15 minutes should be done with this aspect, so we can move on to our VMware and then we start this cybersecurity proper.
So disable participant screen sharing.
Okay. I mean, all right, try it now.
Can you see my screen now?
No, not yet. Let me stop sharing. Okay, you can share now. All right. So as you're doing, just be telling us what you're doing.
Can you see it now?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay. Okay, now I'm trying to set up the first network with my devices here. So I'm connecting laptops to the switches. I'm doing that very fast. Then I'm connecting the switch to the router. This is, let's say, like the example we gave, GT Bank 1. Then I want to set up the other networks. I'm connecting the other network, laptop to the switches. Now I want to add the ports, the connection ports to connect the two routers together. So what I'm doing, I'm going to switch off the router. Then I'm adding this. I'm putting on the router. I'm doing the same for Port Harcourt branch. I'm switching it off. I'm adding that. I'm switching it on back now. So I'm going to connect the two routers to the serial port, which is where you can connect two network together. So I'm done. So my question I want to ask, like you rightly said, you said if you're using MTN in, let's say, Lagos and MTN in Port Harcourt,
Yeah.
You said they are going to communicate with that far distance. What kind of are they going to be using the satellite? They are going to be using just the normal radio that we use at their office. Our office radio, the normal the one you use in your office radio. Is it the same radio that is going to communicate that far distance to Port Harcourt, or they are going to use their own satellite connection? I don't know if you understand what I asked.
Okay, I'm coming. Okay, can you recap?
I said, you said for GT Bank Lagos and GT Bank Port Harcourt, for them to communicate, they communicate via radio.
All right.
Full router will communicate via radio. Now, my question is, the distance between Lagos and Port Harcourt is kind of far.
Yes.
So what kind of radio are they going to communicate using? Is it the satellite or the special kind of radio?
No, they'll go through the satellites, and in another sense, they can MTN can stand in as the intermediary to just connect the both of the two networks together. You understand? So that's where an ISP would come in, because they are licensed to do that. Understand? So if we are going through the satellites, yes, we can still use the bigger antenna with the higher beam, so it will shoot straight to the satellite, then connect. But somebody must be in between to do the connection. So, but we might not know what's going on there. But what we need is the IP addresses. The IP addresses, they will do the routing. And we just set up the IP addresses. We can do the routing from our own end, but they must also have done the routing. Then the router will do the NATing. The router will do the NATing. So who can share your screen? Let's see.
Hello, sir.
Share your. I'm with you, Mr. Michel, right? Who is talking?
Yes. What if I ask this? Can come like a question concerning between two routers. What if they decide to use fiber optics cable, or they use a microwave? That's where they use radio also from one mast to the, or they use fiber. Won't that work? It's like a question. Won't that work?
Yeah, even though you are using fiber, do you know that yes, you know, where you are, a fiber can be channeled down to your axis. So you just connect to an ISP. If they have a presence, if their network is in that your own location, and you are trying to, and they still have a presence in Port Harcourt, and they have a fiber within, so you just need to connect. But if they have a base station somewhere within, and they are running fiber, so you still need to connect. So you can still use cable. So it doesn't mean that you are running a fiber cable straight down to the Port Harcourt, but they've done the interconnection somewhere. So it's just that presence. Because when I was working in an ISP firm, 2012, 2013, 2014, till when I returned back to school to just round up, then so we have a presence. We have a network presence in Abuja. We have in Lagos. We have more in Lagos. So we're connecting churches, organizations, companies. So the only thing we do then, when we are buying, we provide service, like we connect banks together. We do connect banks together. So we have presence in VI, Victoria Island. We have a presence in Ilupeju in Lagos, Victoria Island in Lagos, in Surulere. So base stations presence everywhere. So if we have a client, maybe in Surulere, and then we also have another client in still the same client, but they have another branch in Victoria Island. Since we already have a presence there, and our own antenna are the bigger ones, because it can shoot to a further distance. It can go far, kilometers. So wherever your antenna is, you can still connect, but it's still based on your own the capability of your own antenna too, or your own device. So we are getting service from an ISP. We are just upstream. We have the higher upstream that we get service from as well. So we don't know who they are getting their own service or resource from. You understand? So from the base station at Victoria Island, we didn't even connect to our own office in Surulere. We connected to the upstream, their own presence somewhere around Victoria Island. So they did all the routing. So now they've given us the IP addresses. We've configured the right actual IP addresses. So we've established a wide area network within Lagos. We established in about 5 major places in Lagos. That's where we have. So if we have clients in various, in Surulere, if you have, if there's some of us here know Surulere very well. So if there's a place close to Onipan, if you're going to Ikeja axis, you can still shoot to Surulere. You can connect to any of our antennas in Surulere antenna, and you still be connected. So the only thing we just do, we just issue you an IP address, give you an IP address, then we'll do our own configuration to connect. So, but there's another upstream in another level that is connecting our own antennas. That's why we are connecting the people within us, under us. So it's just, that's how it works. So if your network, if it's a big company organization, so we can now recommend so antenna, use the microwave, like you said. So use the bigger one. We have nano beam. We have a lot of, but we made use of ubiquity radios more. Ubiquity antennas. So there's so many of them. So let's just leave that for now. Let's just leave that for now. So on these notes, just set up this. We'll come to this later. Just do what Mr. Newton has done. Is there anyone that is having any issue or challenge doing this?
So my question, please, is how did you connect the both routers?
Okay.
Which of the connectors did you use?
All right.
Mr. I use the Syria DTV cable.
Can you point your mouse on it?
This is
okay, that one.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Let me do that. Thank you.
Well, you have to shut down the router first.
Okay, I need to shut down the router before I connect.
You have to add. Yes. You have to add this. You have to add this first. You have to add this first.
Yes, you have to shut down. Yeah, shut down the router.
Shut down the router. Then this is the WIC IoT. This is the port that you need to add because the router does not come with it. Yeah. So once you add this port, that gives you the Syria port that gives you that enables you to connect.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, you can see.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. Any?
Can I stop sharing now?
Yes, please. Thank you. Mr. Cole, once you're done with that, just let us know. So
I'll stop sharing.
Yes. Yeah, you can share your screen. Was anyone able to download the Windows server?
Yes, I was able to download it.
Okay. All right.
Please, how did you get to? Can you just repeat that router thing again, please?
This is my screen.
Who is sharing his screen?
It's Uche.
All right.
Can you do the router thing, Uche?
Yes. I've linked the two routers.
I need you to shut it down and turn it on again, like the connecting.
Okay, Mr. Uche,
before making the connection, yeah.
Use the delete by your right hand under the notes. Yeah,
to delete here.
Yes, just click on it here. So click on the
Come here.
No. Before you do that, click on the selection tool up there. The selection tool up there, just above where you have the the delete icon where you clicked on, right? There's a pick
Also,
to
yeah.
no, the up one, the first one at the top, the first one. Yeah, just click on
This
it.
one.
Yes, all right. So click on the router. All right, double click on the router.
Yeah. Okay, I should double click.
Yes, you've already clicked
Yeah.
on it. Click on it again. It's minimized
Okay.
already. Click on it again.
Okay, you wanted to see the
Yes.
router interface.
Yeah, I want him to see. Yes, just show him the router interface. Your screen
Okay,
is
Okay, that's it.
well, we can't see it. I don't think, is anyone seeing what are you
No,
seeing
you
on your
can't see
screen?
it. You can't see it.
Mr. Uche, right?
Sir,
Yeah, so just double click on, should I take control of your, just grant me access.
okay.
All right, just permit me. All right, thank you. Oh, I think you have to just do it. So I don't know if what I'm experiencing is the same thing you experienced. It's actually, can you kindly pick your control back?
Control back.
Yes, I've given up control. I've given up control. So continue. Click on that router again.
Okay, that router again. Okay. So I should take, which interface should I take here?
Maybe you unshare and share again. So I don't know how you shared your screen. So
Okay, I stop sharing.
yeah, so share the whole screen. So when you're sharing, you select the first this thing.
Can you see it?
Yes, all right. So click on it now. Let's see.
Okay, this one.
Yes.
Do I need to put anything here?
I don't think we are seeing it. So just stop sharing, please.
Okay, I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, stop sharing, please. All right, so let me share my screen. Mr. Kuro. So can you see my screen? Still coming up, right?
Yes.
All right,
I can see your screen. Your screen now.
so I've clicked on. Can you see what I just clicked on?
What did you click?
Yeah.
Can you
So I just clicked on this router.
Okay.
You understand? So these are all ports.
Mine doesn't have these features. When I click on it, I think that was what was confusing me.
No, which version? Which are you using the 2620?
Okay, the router is 1941.
Oh, just use this exact.
Did I change it?
Yes, you can change it. I don't know the actual model. I've not used that one, so most times I just use 2620. From this 2620 to use from that one to the highest. So these ones are very low. Might not have most of the features.
So the one you use now is which model?
2620 XM, yes.
Oh,
2620 XM. So I want everyone to do this and just save. Once you're done, just save the work down, so you don't have to do it again if we are coming back to it. All right, so are we all on the same page? I want to move to something else. Just quickly do this, please. Mr. Okoro, you gotten it, right?
Yes, I've gotten it.
Yes, it's still showing red. They're all showing red. So we'll come to this and you'll see what we can do for the two networks to communicate. So we'll come to this. Might not come to it. I'll explain it. Might not be chance to do it today, fine. But this will form our task for next class or maybe during the week. Or if possible, I do a video and send via the Google. I don't intend, this is not part of what I plan on doing today. All right. So I want us to, one after the other, Mr. Based on what I have, let me say, okay, Mr. Okoro, what's the configuration of your laptop, please? You just tell me your hard drive size, the space left, and the RAM size, and the processor is a Core i5. So I want to take note of it.
Okay.
I want to take note of it, please.
Okay, my system property is just a minute, please. All right, processor is 11th generation Intel Core, i5.
Core i5, okay.
Yes, Core i5, 2.4 gigahertz, and one second.
What's the RAM?
I'm trying to see the RAM.
So there's something I'm sharing. So based on your laptop configuration, so I'll tell you what to do and what not to do now. That's why I want to quickly get this. So just be fast with it, please. So just tell me if you already know it. Just drop it via the chat session, so I'll take note of it. So Mr. Cole, let me get the hard drive. The hard drive.
Okay, just hold on, please. So the hard drive is 500.
What's the space left?
The space left is 237 gigabytes.
Okay, everyone, just drop come to the chat section and just tell me your hard drive size, your processor is a Core i5. Just quickly tell me that, please. So, Mr. Cole, you have more than 200 gig left, right?
All right, okay, look at what I can see is that the local disk, which is DXC, right? That's the hard drive.
Yes.
Okay. Total is 237 gigabytes.
Space left.
Free is 81.
Okay.
It's 1.5.
Okay, it's 1 gig left. Okay. That's just what I need. It's 1 gig. All right. And you said the RAM is what?
The RAM is 4 gig RAM.
4 gig. Wow. All right. So let me check the chat. So who has the highest here? Mr. Jali, you have 16 gig and 85 gig left, so which is fine. Let me just take note of this. 16 gig RAM. 16 gig RAM, Core i7, and
But hold on. I think I saw something. I think I'm wrong about the RAM. The installed physical memory RAM is 8 gig.
Okay.
8 gig.
Okay.
Installed physical memory RAM.
All right. So Mr. Newton has wow, this is powerful. Okay, Mr. Newton has the highest Core i7, 16 gig RAM, 16 gig RAM, and 512 SSD, F12 SSD, and 1 TB. So your laptop uses 2 hard drive. So please don't tell me that you have the lowest. Just drop the chats. Just tell me what you have. Just the free. So what I'm doing is I want to share resources I'm sharing. What the task I'm giving is based on the capacity of your system, of your laptop. So I'll just tell you because since you have this and this, do this. So we'll not be doing and you expect to get same results or as who is telling us his again. So Mr. Newton, your SSD, what's the space left? What's the space left, Mr. Newton, on your SSD?
Can I share my own? Okay.
Mr. Charles, what's the size of your... Okay, Mr. Charles is Core i5. Core i5 and 8 gig RAM. And two.
You understand? Steve,
Yeah.
mine is i5 8 GB RAM,
for 7.7 usable.
What's the free space on the hard drive?
That's what I'm telling you now. The SSD is 57 GB. That is free. Sorry, 57 GB. That is sorry for my letter. It's 57 GB, which is free. Then the SSD is 231 in total, but 57 GB is free, and my RAM is 8 GB. But 7.7 is being used, so I still have 1 GB RAM.
So that means from what I'm seeing here, we're all using 8 gig. I've not seen 4 gig here. 8 gig minimum. So except for I know Mike, I don't know what's your own what's the RAM. I think Mike, yours should be like 4 gig. So it's fine. If you have 8 gig, we are fine. So we'll clear the aspect of RAM now. So on the free, is anyone that is having hard drive space less than 80 gig here? If you have less than 80 gig, just let me know.
Yes. What is left with me is 57.
57 GB. For Mr. Charles, right?
GB. That is what's left for me now.
Is this Mr. Charles?
Yes, Charles. This is 57.8 GB free.
And your hard drive is SSD, right?
It's an SSD. SSD, yeah.
Okay, Mr. Uche for i7. Okay, it's fine. SSD 198 gig free. That means you have 256 SSD, Mr.
Yes,
Uche.
256
SSD, right? Okay, yeah, that's fine. It's fine. So if you have 198, that means out of 256, you've not even installed much. So that's
it's
fine.
a new laptop.
You're welcome on board. So all right. So I think with all these configurations, we are good. We are good. But if anyone has anything like 4 gig or less than 8 gig, you should let me know now so that I'll just guide you on what to do. Okay. So and then who has installed or downloaded? Is anyone that has not downloaded the Windows Server yet?
I have not, so it's still downloading.
Please, which one is the Windows Server? Is it the VMware?
No, the Windows Server that was shared last night. So if you've downloaded, just let me know how many people. Mr. Newton, you said you've downloaded, right?
Okay. Wow.
Mr. Newton and who again? Who has downloaded?
Steve.
Yes, sir. Or if you already have it, no, fine. Or if you have 2016, we can still make use of that one. But 2022 is the latest, which I would want everyone to use the latest. Or if you have any other one, you can still use it.
Oh, could have been downloading this thing on this one.
Yes, I am with you.
I'm sorry. I think I have to just start downloading mine now because I didn't see it yesterday.
Okay.
The link.
All right. So just try and download. So it's only Mr. Newton that has downloaded, right? All right. So Mr. Newton, if you've downloaded, so you will help us. You will share your screen. So I'm switching over to another device now. So I already have. Let me show you my VM. Can you all see my screen?
Yep.
Yes, you can see my screen. Okay, look at my own laptop. Here's a Core i7, right? Core i7, and 32 gig RAM. And then this is how you check the Core i7. This is basic Core i7 32 gig RAM. So if you want to not check for the graphics card, if you want, mine has graphics card. That's what makes it a bit expensive. One of the things that makes it is the graphics card. So when you come to Task Manager, you just come to Performance. There are different ways of checking it. You can like click on your desktop environment and click on Display Settings. Also, you still see it there. But here you see it here. NVIDIA, you show you the exact brand of the graphics card. So mine is 4 gig. You can see. And if you look very well here, out of Core i7, right, I'm using 14% out of 100, and my memory I'm using out of 32 gig. I'm using 20% out of 100. And if you check very well, I have a lot running. Even, let me just show you my control panel. You see tons of apps that I have running here. So for those that will not be able to download, I have tons of applications I can give out. So I'll tell you, these are the ones that are meant for this course. So these ones might not, they might not be for this course, but I'll just drop it via the chat. So if you like, you download. If you don't like, you don't know, I will specify. Because I have tons of them. I have, apart from the cybersecurity courses or other tech applications, I have in total, I have almost 400 applications here installed on my hard drive. You understand? So if you know your hard drive or your laptop cannot take much of what I'll be giving out, so you just limit some of the things you'll be doing. You get, so 21%.
Okay, can you state the model of your laptop, the specification?
All right, so let me go to.
I'd like to go for something like that.
Let me do MS Info 32 to see the full configuration. So I have to. I don't know why this thing keeps showing. I've taken it up. All right. This is the laptop. So it's a gaming laptop. This is it here. For i7, the brand, the model is there. Is electronics. The American laptop. So they only do gaming laptops. You can check them out. So for i7, 4 gig dedicated graphics card and 32 gig RAM, and it uses DDR4. The memory is DDR4. It's not DDR3. So that's for this aspect. So that's why I was able to install. I'll switch to another laptop now. So that's because on this one, I don't want this laptop to go off. Yeah. So I'll switch to my other laptop. So Mr. Newton will work with yours while I'm switching over. So my hard drive, I partition my hard drive. This is the SSD 512, and this is the 1 terabyte, this 2 here, which I partitioned into 3. So I gave them different names. So I know things that I said, and you see they're all showing red, and I keep deleting every now and then. I always delete, so, and I optimize my laptop. So because if I'm installing all of this, first thing I have antivirus secured, and then always scanning. Anything I'm installing, antivirus is scanning at the background. Anything that's not meant to be as a threat, should delete it immediately. And I have like a secondary antivirus, but it's not a full time antivirus. It's just a part-time antivirus, but I think it's good for ransomware as well. When I did my research,
the server you downloaded, the antivirus was just deleting the key. You know, it came with crack.
This thing.
Yes, the server, this
Windows server.
The server, Windows server, it came with 2 cracks.
No need. You can you can either disable that antivirus. The ISO is what you need.
The ISO is fine.
That's what you need. That's what you need. Exactly. Thank you. So that's what you need. All right. I think I was saying something. So for this, all right. So let's Mr. Newton share his screen. I'll make you the admin. I will make you the admin. Mr. Samuel is on this call. Mr. Samuel, are you joining via the Telegram? Can you unmute, or because we are using Zoom? Mr. Samuel. Mr. Samuel, kindly join using Zoom, please. So, Mr. Newton, are you set?
Yes, I'm set.
All right, so just share your screen, please. Let me unshare. So you share your screen. No, you've already installed it. I don't want you to install it yet. You've already installed it. Can you yank it off? No, not that way, not that way, please. No, don't do it that way, please. No, hold on. So go to the VMware directory, open VMware directory. Yes, the Windows Server you just clicked on. Right click and open VMware directory. All right. So click on the virtual machine up there at the top, where you have the paths up. Where you have documents, virtual. Yes, click on it. So now just leave this page open. This is Windows Server 2022, right? So have you successfully installed the Windows Server? Like you booted to desktop. Yes. So you have you have to disconnect it. So but just leave that window open. So minimize this.
Can I not install it again? I'll just name it a different.
Oh, do you have space? Do you want to install again?
Yes, I have space. Yes,
all right. Okay. Let's go. Let's shoot. So let's shoot. So everybody just take note of this. So why he's doing the survey, introducing the cybersecurity aspect. So Mr. Newton, I'll make you admin here. So there's a question for me. Okay, Mr. Additional 4 gig RAM. So you have to just get only Windows Server installed on them. Let me see if I can make hosts. Yes, so I'm making you the host now. Yes, so I want to switch. So Mr. Charles, right?
Mr. Newton.
Is it Mr.
Yes, I want to ask you.
Yes, I want to
can
switch.
You hear me?
Yes, I want to switch. So in about a minute, I'll join back. So Mr. Newton will be the admin of this call. So the recording that is going on here, I want it to be saved. All right, Mr. Newton, are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you.
All right, so you are the admin of this call now, on this call. So I'm switching over to another device.
Okay, no problem. When you come, I'll ask the question.
When you come,
All right.
Yeah.